Hey there, Cyamak Ashtiani coming at you here with a brand new lesson on unassisted tapped arpeggios. What I'm going to do is play figure A, B, and C quickly for you here, and then we're going to go back and pick them apart, and I'll play them slow for you as well. So here's figure A, which is an E minor 7 arpeggio. And here's figure B, which is an E minor 6 with a C in the bass. And then here is figure C, which is figure A and B kind of combined, figure A modulated as well. And now what we're going to do is go back and play slow. So figure A is going to be an E minor 7 arpeggio. Now, the way I like to think about this particular shape is like this. It starts out with a fifth, the root being on E, and then it eventually ends up doing this popular arpeggio on the higher string, a little 3-string arpeggio, which in this case is the G major. That popular arpeggio shape. So, fifth, and then a little G major arpeggio on the higher strings, and then what fills in the void, the gap in between them, is tap notes. So, all these arpeggios being in groupings of 4, it's going to start out like this. Unassisted, unassisted. Okay, remember the scrunchy does help. And then, so, do that a little bit slower. Now the tricky part to this is when you start doubling the arpeggio, doing it more than once in a row, you're going to find that your first note, which is your root note, E, is no longer going to be an unassisted tapped arpeggio. It's going to become more like a pull-off, because now that being your last note is going to be on the same string as the first note of the next sequence. So we actually have to pull off there. Okay, so. So now figure C is actually also an E minor chord, but it's an E minor 6 with the 6th being in the bass, 6 being C. So again, it's the same concept because it starts out with a 5th again. Of course, this time is the minor 6 going to G, so it's C and G. But we also keep that integrity of the little 3-string arpeggio. This time that 3-string arpeggio being an E minor as opposed to a G major. Okay, so we've got the E minor with the 5th of the bass. So we've got, again, what fills in the void is tap notes. Oop. So, one thing you might notice on this particular arpeggio is that the first note that we end up tapping in the sequence and the note that comes directly after it are actually the same note. Okay? So you're gonna reach a little patch within the fluidness of the arpeggio that's gonna seem like it's not a different note, and it's not. It will give the in a fast, little, like, it'll give the appearance that it's a different note, but in reality it's not. So anyway, again, it's the basic concept as figure A. It's just in a different shape. So now figure C was what I did. I took the shape of figure A, the E minor 7, and I simply slid that exact same shape up to the 12th fret, rooted on the A, which obviously makes it A minor 7. Then for the next one, I slid up 2 frets and did a B minor 7. So if I was to slow down figure C, it would be like this. So, again, I had basically an E minor 7, slid up to an A minor 7, slid up to a B minor 7, and then finally slid up to figure B, which is an E minor 6 with a C in the bass. Okay? So, again, remember that these arpeggios are in groupings of 4. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, that being in groupings of 4, make sure that you try to keep them to a metronome, which I didn't do today, but feel free to set your own speed. These arpeggios are kind of cool, and they sound pretty good with, they kind of sound almost as good slower as they would faster. But you can definitely build some speed with these, and it's almost like a modulation of a familiar shape. Like figure A is almost like that. It's almost like that G major. Again, another popular arpeggio. And figure B is almost like that. Like that E minor arpeggio. You know, like the Malmsteen-esque kind of arpeggios. So, but they're just tweaked a little bit so that they can be tapped. Remember to basically use a scrunchie, which tends to really tremendously help with these arpeggios out of any arpeggio I've ever done. I would say that this really requires a scrunchie, but that's just me. So I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys for the next lesson.